All right. Um, so this video, I think this is week 13. This video I'm gonna do about, just being grateful for what you have. There's a lot of people in life that, they don't take reflection for actually what they have in life. They just always want to, whether if you're religious or not, whether they're praying or if they're hoping for more, they pray for more or something like that. A lot of people don't take time to actually sit down and be thankful for what they have. Thank God for what it is. Something I've been trying to do for the last couple of weeks. Actually, every win I get, first person I thank is God. Whether it's something that's I feel like I've put all the work into or not. To me, the overall outcome, the decision of all of this is God's decision. So it's I have to live my life according to that, and I have to be thankful for all of the wins I've gotten. It's one of the things. He's putting you through all of your tests. He's putting you through everything with it. So because of those tests, you have to be grateful when you actually win. When you come out on the end and you're like, okay, well, this was good. Like because of that, because of what happened here, I'm now here. And you have to take the time and actually sit back and reflect on that. Because I think there's too many people that they get a new job, they're like, it's just a new job, something like that. They don't actually take time to think about where they are in life and be like, man, like this is so much better than it was. And I think that's a great message kind of going into this new year. Everyone's got New Year's resolutions, everything with that. Um, Everyone, a lot of people start going to the gym, whether they stick with it or not. Not a lot of people do. I hope more people do. Like ultimately in life, I think if more people went to the gym, there'd be a lot less problems. I think there's too many people out of shape. I think there's too many people that just blame life on, well, I just don't have time for it. You have time for the gym. I mean, I don't I don't think there's one person that doesn't have time to for the gym to work out because it doesn't have to be a big workout. You can go in and do 30-minute workout and make great results. You have to have the dedication to do it, and I don't think a lot of people have that dedication. If you stick with the gym, that's a habit that you create, and it's a dedication that you create that you can transform into other things in life. You know, Gym is something I've always been constant on. So because of that, it's like, okay, well, I have to go to the gym. If I'm feeling today, I was lazy as hell. Like I did not want to get out of bed, anything like that. As soon as I went back to the gym, I'm more productive already. It's like it gets your brain going. Anytime you do work out, it releases a chemical that kind of goes against depression. So you're literally going to be more depressed or less depressed by going to the gym. So why would you not do that? Why would you not just start a habit? Like I make my bed every single morning. It doesn't have to be great, but I at least clean it up, make it presentable. If someone comes into my house at any point in time, it's always clean. It's those little habits that create a man. It's those little tiny things. And there's one great speech that a military officer gave. I think a Marine graduation. I love that video. I watch it every single time it comes across my feed on whatever app I'm using. But he talks about how making your bed is a small habit that transforms your entire life. Because if you do that, you're always going to do it. If you always do that, you're going to start doing other things that you're always going to do. If you have a morning routine, it puts you in the habit of, okay, well, I have to do this because if I don't, it's going to feel weird. If I don't make my bed, I think something's going to feel off. There's been like 1 or 2 days, last couple of months, that I haven't made my bed. I'm like, man, I just feel weird today. And then as soon as I get home, I'm like, oh, that's why. Like my bed looks like shit. So it's just one of those things. Like start this year actually. If you're gonna do anything, make the habit, stick with it. I mean, don't be a bitch. I mean, it's literally all it is. I mean, they're gonna have some bad days. I mean, coming from someone that this is the worst year of my entire life, and I've had some pretty bad years. Other people have obviously had it worse, but this year has put me through a lot of things, but because of all of that, I've gained so much. I'm in a new place, new city, talking to a new person. I have a girl that makes me on top of the world. It makes me a better man. Anything with that, I've never had that. I've gone for sluts. I'm literally and truly in the past. This year I've been trying to get away from that. Everything with that, I've grown a relationship with God. I've become a better man truly, like I don't think there's one person that has seen me in the past to now. Some of them might think it's cliche and that I'm joking because of how shitty of a person I was. Like I'm a completely different guy, you know. Anywhere I go, someone wants to have a conversation with me. I can tell like I give off a better personality. I give off a better presence, and that's the presence I gave off in the past was not that. You know, maybe I was cool and funny and I did bad shit, so that's why people want to talk to me. But now people want to talk to me for advice in the gym. You know, during this week, I've literally like ran into people that I don't have any connection with, and they're asking me like how to do stuff in the gym. They're having a connection with me. I talked to one guy in the sauna yesterday about how shitty our lives have been. Being grateful for God, being grateful for everything, going through the process of doing social media. The gym I go to is very popular, and it gets a lot of like people that want to be influencers, stuff like that. And I have no hate for that at all. I think some people are going to be more meant to do it or not, because it takes that dedication. I don't think a lot of the people out there are going to be dedicated. I think so many people, I made a TikTok about it today, so many people want the reward without doing the work. None of them are going to do the work. The only people that are going to get the reward are the ones that are actually doing the work. So you have to be happy with life, um, but you have to be determined to go get it. And a lot of people don't have that. This is something I've been going at for a couple months now. Been doing TikTok for a little over 6 months now. I've been doing YouTube for this will be week 13. I've been posting on everything. I've been lazy with some of it. I've had some days where I'm not doing my best. Like right now, I literally have my Xbox on. I've been playing Ark. I've been playing Ark Survival Ascendant. So I've been pretty lazy on that because I've been playing the hell out of this game. I haven't been posting near as much as I need to, stuff like that. But it's one of those things you gotta lock back in. You can let it rest a little. You know, it is hard to go hard 24/7. Life's hard. I mean, that's the only thing to say about it. I mean, fuck it, keep going with it. That's I have to tell myself that same thing. I'm not perfect. I have a lot of flaws. I think I'm still lazy. I don't want to be as lazy as I am. It's one of those things right now I'm just kind of passing time in life, but I don't need to just be doing that. I can take this time to learn the stuff that I can use for the future. I can take this time to grow my relationship closer with God, which I have been doing. I still reading the Bible every single night. Um, it's one of those habits. So I have a night routine, I have a morning routine. Because of that, everything in the middle, and then I have the gym in the middle. So I have three different routines that I always get those three things done. That is so much more than other people will ever do in their life. There's some people that I know literally wake up, play video games, and that's all they do their entire. They don't go to work. They don't do anything else. Live with their parents, like everything with it. If that's the life you want, okay, that's fine. Enjoy your life. That is not the life I want. I want everything I can get. I want more than my hands can fill. And it's not for the materialistic aspect. It's because I've always had a drive in life that I want to I want to achieve the unachievable. That's my goal. I don't care about the money. Yeah, money is obviously money. People that say money doesn't make you happy, that's bullshit. Yeah, sure, stop. Money definitely makes you happier because it allows you to not worry on the things that would make your life worse. Um, you know, anytime someone gets a paycheck, they're like, oh, like all right, that makes it a little better. And then a couple of days before you get your paycheck, you're getting down to your last couple of dollars, something like that. You're like, this is getting. You have to start making cuts. You have to start making budget cuts. You have to cut out things you want to do. You can't buy that new guitar because, well, and you need that $200 for rent, something like that. So money definitely makes it a little easier. And obviously, I want to make as much money as I can in the least amount of time possible. So that's what start this new job on Saturday. I'll go through a little training phase with it, and hopefully this puts me down a new avenue. I think I can be good in sales. I think I can be good just in business. I'm sick of working just an hourly wage, something like that. And I don't want to. I don't want to spend the time away from Nash. I don't know if you guys can see him or not, but I don't want to spend that time away from him because he's gotten me through everything. You have to have those things you can call back at home. So another routine I have is I always have to walk him. So it's those things that keep you moving, keep you out of bed. I have to get out of bed. Can't spend my entire day in bed bed, because if not, he's gonna piss in the bed, and then I'm gonna be mad that I'm covered in piss. Right? So it's one of those things, find what motivates you, find ways to create those habits that make you do stuff that you don't want to do, because in the end, dedication is just doing the stuff that you don't want to do. If everyone did the stuff that they wanted to do, um, like partying, doing drugs, going out, drinking every single night, um, nothing would get done in the world. You have to do the things that you don't want to do. And so it's one of those things, you create the habit, then you end up doing, it becomes something that you want to do. It's just like, oh, if I don't do that, I'm gonna be pissed off. Like if I don't go to the gym, I'm gonna be annoyed. I'm gonna be irritated. I'm gonna feel weird. Um, if I don't eat right, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm hungry. Like it becomes one of those things. You start bulking anything with it. You just have to make those habits. That's the only way you're gonna do well in life. Because for me, I don't really have anyone else to depend on. So I have to make it. Otherwise, I'm dead. That's literally it. So little weirdo. Going into this new year, I hope everyone's able. Nash, stop. Kennel. Yeah, boy. Um, Kennel. So going into this new year, I hope everyone's actually able to choose those habits that will actually make you a better man, better woman. I don't know what my subscriber rating anything is. I don't know who's listening to any of this. Could be no one. I got 85 subscribers right now. That's a follower count I'm at, or subscriber count I'm at. So it's one of those things. I don't know who all is even taking any of these words to heart. It could be 85 of you guys just being like, this guy's a fucking idiot. That's fine too. I mean, I'm making this because it's one of those things I'm dedicated to. I post 2 videos a week, every single week. I'll post extra videos, everything with it. So I mean, that's literally everything. Lock in. It's 2026. It's time to change your fucking life. That's all I got.